Hello, this is my first video since I've handed in the assignment, but that doesn't mean I've not been working on it. So let me show you what I've been up to. So let's create a level. So I've been playing with some lights and stuff. So I have created a character controller for and placed it inside the level. So this is our player controller. So it has a FPS controller, character controller. We're given a rigid body. Player interactions is at this point it's just to turn on and off the torch the character's playing, and I'll go into some detail with the display room controller in a bit. So this here is our character. Let me just turn this gizmo off. So this here is us. We've got a camera placed, so if we can turn around, we can look up and down. Obviously, left right rotates the character, but when you go up and down, it only rotates the camera, which is something that everyone does, because if you start rotating the player in both axes, it'll get messed up. So we can move back and forth, and I've also given him a torch. Let me take out the light now. So the controller, this cube is just to see where it's back and front. So the eyes is the camera, and to the camera we've attached the torch. When this goes into the VR will be attached to the controller. And we have this. So the flame is the particle system, and we've got this red light flickering, creating this flickering effect, as you can see. Um, it's basically a script with puts random values inside the intensity of the light. So we've got our character that's moving now. It'll collide with walls. I know the flame goes inside because that doesn't have a collider to stop it yet. But as you can see, it won't go further into the walls. So I needed to redo a few things about the rooms. I needed to add to all of them, to all the walls, the floor, box colliders. And then when I started loading up the level to move around, I noticed that the frame rate dropped, making even this basic movement a bit laggy. So what I decided to do, and it was something I had mentioned in the assignment, was to create the culling effect. So basically, if we go back to the player, so the way it works now is once the level's been all created, before the procedural level generator turns off, it will set all the tiles to disabled. It'll disable all the tiles basically. So you can see down here, if we go to the dungeon master, we've got about 319. We've got 319 tiles, and we can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can only see 6 rooms at the moment. We're doing that because later on, when we get hopefully high detail levels with more polygons in it, uh, you you only display the rooms you need to. Um, so if we go back to the player, this script here, the display uh, rooms controller, is basically a script that it examines it raycasts to see which room the player is inside. So now he's in the starting room, and it will display the three like 3 rooms ahead of the player. It'll enable those rooms. So you start off with the room that you're in, and then you say, I want to enable the rooms that are adjacent to that tile. And once it does that, it says, you also say, I want to enable the adjacent tiles that are adjacent to that starting tile. And you do that in steps of 3. So as you can see, if we're in the starting room, and we go 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3. So if I move through this room, you'll see more tiles have been added because now we're in this room. So the 3 next steps that the user can possibly go to is 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3. So once I go into the temple room, that'll extend also more. You see it's been added there. But what I've also done is not only it enables tiles, it also disables tiles. So if I move now in here, you see this room's been it's been disabled again because again being in this room we go 1, 2, 3. So this one's been removed, and it'll continue to do that as we keep going. So it'll keep about a number of, I don't know, depends on how complex the room is, but it looks like it's a number of from from 9 to, I don't know, 15, 20 rooms. I could probably work in reducing that also. So like maybe say the rooms that are behind the player, disable those also. So when he starts turning, because they're not behind him at this point, they'll start showing up. But I think I'm going to leave it for now and keep on working on the generation of the level. So there you see, you get some more rooms showing up. Obviously this is dead end. That's why it hasn't added any more tiles here to us. You see now we've got some nice small number of tiles. So there you have it. So the next step I want to do is create a setting here so you can start trying levels, let's say from 1 to 100. So you try the level with ID 1, if it's good you save it, if not you don't, then try 2 and go up to 100. And what I've also done is when I save the details now of the level, it also saves. I have a file. It saves here. Let's see. If I go into the resources, data files, levels. Now for each level, for each room it'll save the name of the room, and it'll save the position and rotation. So I've done this for one specific room. This scene here will load up. Don't save that. So if I hit play here, this will load up a specific level that I've stored. So it only it places the tile and it rotates it and positions it in the correct place. Though I am noticing some errors there, but I think that's the way forward because it loads a lot faster. Obviously, then I need to disable them again. Well, the player controller would do that for me. So once I drop the player in here, it would do that. But the other problem is that the rooms, even though they're connected, the exits haven't been opened. So I need to, in addition to storing the location, the position, and the type of the room, I also need to store which of its exits are open so I can use that. But that's what I've got for now. Next update probably after into 2018. Thanks.